Today, we're diving into the World Economic Forum's latest Global Risks Report for 2026. It's a pretty heavy document looking at all the major challenges on the horizon, but we're going to break it down and focus on what it means for one of the most basic, essential parts of all our lives. So just so we're all on the same page, this whole explainer is based on that 21st edition report. And we've gone through it with one specific question in mind. What does this all mean for global food production? We've pulled out the key risks that could actually impact what ends up on our dinner plates. You know, the report doesn't exactly easy win. It opens with this line right here, balancing on a precipice. That's a pretty dramatic image, and it really sets the tone for the serious challenges that they see coming our way. And that really is the million-dollar question we're tackling, isn't it? We're going to connect these huge, high-level global risks directly to the food on your table. Because at the end of the day, that's where all these big, abstract trends really hit home for all of us. All right, first up, let's look at how global conflicts are evolving. You know, it's not just about tanks and borders anymore. It's also very much about what's for dinner. The report zeroes in on this key idea, geoeconomic confrontation. Now, this isn't your traditional kind of warfare. This is about using the economy itself as a weapon. We're talking about things like sanctions, trade wars, and getting control over essential goods like food and fertilizer. And check this out. According to the experts the report surveyed, this geoeconomic confrontation is seen as the single biggest short-term risk for a global crisis. Think about that. It's considered more likely to spark a major crisis than even traditional armed conflict. That's a huge shift in how we need to think about global threats. So where does this economic war play out? Well, right across our global supply chains. You can think of these as the arteries of our entire food system. They're constantly moving everything from grain and soybeans to the fertilizer we need to grow them. And the report makes it crystal clear, these arteries are really, really vulnerable. The report even breaks down the specific tactics, the weapons, if you will. We're seeing governments slap on tariffs, ban investments in certain areas, and even start stockpiling critical goods like food. Every single one of these moves can send a shockwave through the global food market, messing with both how much is available and how much it costs. Okay, so geopolitical friction is the big, immediate threat. But the report is practically screaming about an even bigger, longer-term challenge that's looming over everything: the very real impact of climate change on our ability to grow food. Now, this slide is fascinating. It shows a major disconnect in what we're worried about. In the short term, over the next 2 years, we're all focused on things like economic conflict and social issues. But when you ask experts to look out 10 years, the list is completely taken over by environmental risks. The top 3 are all about the health of our planet. And here's a closer look at that long-term view. I mean, just look at it. Over the next decade, the biggest threats are extreme weather, biodiversity loss, and major changes to Earth's systems. Every single one of those has a direct and, frankly, potentially devastating impact on our ability to farm and grow food. And we're not talking about abstract ideas here. We are talking about very real events, like droughts that completely dry up the reservoirs we need for irrigation, or massive floods that just wash away precious topsoil and destroy entire harvests. These are the absolute fundamentals of agriculture, and they are under serious threat. So we've got conflict, and we've got climate. Now let's add a third layer that the report is very concerned about: the actual physical stuff, the pipes and roads and ports that move our food from the farm to our fork. A huge warning in the report is about our aging infrastructure. I mean, our roads, our ports, our bridges, most of them just weren't built to handle the kind of climate we're living in now. They are getting more and more fragile, especially when they get hammered by these extreme weather events we keep talking about. And this isn't just a what-if scenario. The report points to the recent drought at the Panama Canal. Water levels got so low that ships got stuck, creating huge delays. And the result? The price of fruits and vegetables went up thousands of miles away, in places like the UK. It just goes to show how one single choke point can mess up the entire system. And on top of all that, you've got the economic pressure. The report uses this great phrase, boomerang inflation. That's when all these supply chain issues and high costs come flying back to hit us, the consumers, with higher food prices, sometimes long after the original problem has supposedly been fixed. So we've looked at geopolitics, we've looked at climate, and we've looked at infrastructure. But the real danger, the thing the report is truly worried about, is what happens when these problems stop staying in their own lanes and start crashing into each other. And the report has a special name for when all these threats combine and start feeding off each other. It's the core warning for our food security, and they call it the risk of a polycrisis. So what on earth is a polycrisis? Well, as the report defines it, it's not just a bunch of bad things happening at once. It's when different crises, say an economic one, an environmental one, and a political one, start to interact and amplify each other, creating a chain reaction with impacts that are way bigger than any single crisis on its own. Let me just walk you through how this could happen. Think of it like a recipe for a food crisis. First, a geopolitical conflict cuts off the world's fertilizer supply. At the exact same time, a massive drought hits a major breadbasket region, so crop yields plummet. And then, the ports needed to ship what little food is available get knocked out by a hurricane. The end result? Global food shortages and prices going through the roof. That's a polycrisis in action. But, and this is a really important but, the report doesn't leave us feeling totally doomed. It makes a point to say that this scary future isn't set in stone. The path we end up on depends completely on the choices that we as a global community make right now. And that really brings us to the final, crucial question that this whole report leaves you with. When you look at all these interconnected threats, from sanctions and droughts to failing bridges, you have to ask, how strong are our global food systems really? Are they actually ready for what's coming?